As we've told you, Attawapiskat Chief Theresa Spence has demanded a meeting with Prime Minister Stephen Harper that, according to her, should be weeks long. Now, many say this is a diet of delusions, and it's being heard so loudly in the media due to the holiday lull in Parliament activity. The Source's host, Ezra Levant, is here with us in studio with more on the story. And Ezra, I know you dedicated a large part of your show to this topic yesterday, again today. You've been fact-checking the movement, though, the Idle No More movement and Theresa Spence. What are you learning about them?
Well, thanks for the question, by the way. Happy New Year. Great to see you again. The first thing that struck me was how similar the Idle No More movement is to the Occupy. Remember Occupy Wall Street, Occupy Toronto? In that they're very media savvy, and they bang drums a lot and make a lot of noise, and they engage in small-time criminality, not real violence, but you know, they blockade railways in the case of Idle No More. And they also, and here's the key similarity, they don't have a clear outcome. I mean, Chief Theresa Spence of the Attawapiskat Band says she wants a meeting with Stephen Harper. Okay, for what?
And then what?
Yeah, I mean, I've met Stephen Harper, he's a very pleasant man, but usually when you have a meeting, you have an agenda, you have a point. What's wrong? What's the issue? I mean, there are issues in Attawapiskat. And that's when I started looking into Attawapiskat's situation. Attawapiskat is a small town in Northern Ontario, about 1,500 people living in 300 homes. It's a small town. But they have 3 chiefs on the payroll, 18 councillors on the payroll. That's 21 full-time politicians. Chief Theresa Spence's boyfriend happens to be the town financial manager. He has a contract for $850 a day. That household's making close to 300 grand a year, the chief and her boyfriend, tax-free. And I started going through the online financial statements. There's a town tech manager pulling in 171 grand a year tax-free for a town of 300 homes. There was one fellow there who had a travel budget, 2 months, $68,000. Chief Theresa herself, she managed the daycare. It's a pretty small daycare. There's only 300 homes. She got paid $8,000 a month.
It's incredible.
And the reason I'm giving you these specific details is because hundreds of millions of dollars have been dumped into Attawapiskat over the decades. $90 million alone by Stephen Harper since he became Prime Minister. And so here's the problem. We see the poverty, we see the leaky roofs, yet we see the huge dollars, and there's a disconnect.
Yeah, absolutely. How are they getting paid that much money? And you're talking about a tech manager. How many of those homes actually have internet, satellite? And you have to wonder exactly where all the money is going. And I think that's what a lot of people, they're now starting to look at the facts. And, you know, at Sun News, this is an issue. When we talk about Attawapiskat, when we talk about First Nations issues, and we really dig into the numbers, look at the true facts of the matter, we get a huge response, and not just from conservatives, from liberals, NDP, all political stripes. And I think that's what's missing from this debate, which we're not really having in the public sphere, is where are the facts?
Well, that's the thing, Sneha. I mean, put aside liberal and conservative just for a second. I don't think you can be human and look at those leaky roofs in that cold place without having a pain inside your heart and saying, what's wrong? Can someone fix those roofs? The school there they tore down the school because they built it over a toxic waste spill, a diesel spill. And so you're thinking, what's wrong? Maybe more money's the answer. But then when you start to look at the finances, let me throw a fact at you. And I bet you that you haven't seen this fact because it's not being reported anywhere else, Neha. Did you know that in the middle of this so-called housing crisis where they need more money, the Chief Theresa Spence and the band has a $9 million stock portfolio? $9 million. Attawapiskat has $9 million in stocks like Apple and China Mobile and banks.
It's incredible.
And now, maybe if you have a housing crisis, you sell a few stocks. You don't. You stop being tycoon. I just want to throw 2 more statistics at you because it's so shocking. Because people think the answer is give more money. Really, that stock market portfolio, they did sell some stocks. They spent $200,000 last year on gifts. They spent $36,000. I don't know. Well, they didn't disclose it. They spent $36,000 on a goose hunt. They spent $96,000 last year, Sneha, on a new Zamboni. They already had a Zamboni. So what I'm saying,
if you can afford a Zamboni, why not fix the roofs and why not fix the school and all the other pressing issues?
Here's the contradiction. On the one hand, you have ordinary Indians in abject poverty. But then you've got this millionaire class of chiefs, and I call it the Indian industry, and that's the disconnect. And I think that ordinary Indians should direct some of their rage at their chiefs, not Stephen Harper because it's convenient.
No, and certainly it's something we're going to be talking about a lot here on Sun News. I know you've got your show, a lot of interesting new facts as well tonight, so we'll be watching out for that. Thank you so much, Ezra, for joining us.
Great to see you, Sneha.
You too, and Happy New Year.
Thanks.
That, of course, is Ezra Levant, the host of The Source, right here on Sun News Network.